Mithali Raj announced her international retirement today. For many cricket followers, Mithali Raj is an institution. She's an emotion. Why are the likes of Smriti Mandana, Shefali Verma, Jemima Rodriguez all are performing so well on the international arena? It is all thanks to the earlier exploits of Mithali Raj. Mithali's magnificent record and her contributions to Indian women's cricket and the growth has been simply sensational. Plus, for us 90s kids, Mithali Raj's retirement is often a sad chapter. Why? Because she was one of the last active cricketers in the 90s. Yes, folks, 1999 she had made her debut. So today an era has come to an end. The legend bids farewell. But cricket gained a massive star. What cricket gained, Bharatnatyam lost. That is the early story that Mithali Raj indeed had woven. I mean, she was born in Jodhpur in 1982. Her father, Dorai Raj, was an Air Force officer. But she was keen on becoming a Bharatnatyam dancer. No wonder those fleet moves and the way how she danced down the track. She had that kind of an impact. Mithali Raj could have seriously pursued a career in Bharatnatyam. But at that time, cricket came in a way. Her early forays into cricket were actually not that promising. She was included in the 1997 preliminary squad for the Women's World Cup at the age of 14, but she just could not make the final squad. She had good exploits for Railways and Air India, but then in 1999, destiny had other plans for her. Mithali Raj made her debut, and on ODI debut against Ireland in Milton Keynes 1999, she smashed a century. She joined a rare club of individuals who had hit an ODI century on debut, and she was also one of the youngest players. But 3 years later, in 2002, she played a knock that not only put her on the world map, it also put Indian women's cricket on the world map. She hit 214 in a test against England in Taunton. Taunton would be associated with Saurav Ganguly and Rahul Dravid's epic partnership in 1999. But Mithali Raj stole the show in what was a brilliant display of batting. Her score was incidentally the highest individual score in a women's test for 2 years. After that, Kiran Baluch of Pakistan hit 242 against the West Indies. By this time, her wonder years had already started. 10 on ODI debut, 214 in a test match. And as the years progressed, Mithali Raj became a record-breaking machine. Prior to this, she had led India in 2005 in the Women's World Cup, where India reached the final for the first time. But unfortunately, the Australian juggernaut was just too strong. In 2006, though, glory came Mithali's way, and she became the first Indian captain to win a series in England. Now, just a cursory glance at her ODI records. Let us make one thing very clear here. Mithali Raj's ODI achievements are simply staggering. Mithali Raj in 232 matches made 7,805 runs at an average of 50. 2-decade career, an average of 50 plus 7,800 runs, 64 50s. It is simply a marvel. That is Mithali. Consider this aspect. Charlotte Edwards, who had created the original benchmark for dominance, made 5,992 runs. Mithali broke that record in the 2017 World Cup. And such has been a staggering consistency that year by year she became better. So among the top lists of women's cricket players, Mithali Raj is simply on a different pinnacle altogether. This record of 7,805 runs might not be broken in the near future because of all the three formats gaining prominence. Meg Lanning is close, but whether Meg Lanning does it and maintains that consistency remains to be seen. But along with her record-breaking stint, and as well as the numbers that she has accumulated, there was also a controversy which marred her legacy towards the end of her career. During the 2018 Women's World T20 that was held in the West Indies, Mithali Raj was in fine form. She had hit 50s in 2 games. But there were issues regarding her strike rate. Maybe it would have gone into the smaller print, but during the semi-final, she was dropped. Imagine a legend who has played for over a decade and has represented India in so many World Cups in the crunch match of a semi-final, especially against a powerhouse like England, you decide to drop her. India were hammered in that semi-final of the 2018 World T20. But what followed afterwards was not a good sign. I mean, the allegations that sprung up in the aftermath. After being dropped from the 2018 World Cup T20 semi-finals, there was a fallout between the BCCI, the COA and Mithali. Mithali had accused the coach at that time, Ramesh Pawar, of disrespecting her. She had accused the COA member and a former women's cricketer, Dinah Adalji, of bias. The confusion and all the allegations that flew around in the aftermath of the 2018 World T20 did not leave a good impression on a lot of people. So unfortunately, towards the fag end, Mithali's T20 career was handicapped by that. She never played a T20. She never played that much of T20s after that. She did play in the 2022 World Cup, but unfortunately, India just could not give them a good farewell. India did not give Mithali a good farewell, and as they lost in the league game to South Africa, it was a sad end for the legend. In a nutshell, if I have to sum up Mithali Raj's brilliant career, she has the second highest individual test score in history, 214 as I mentioned. She captained India to 2 World Cup finals. 2005 probably had laid the base. But remember, the 2005 World Cup, the Women's World Cup, was not telecast in that big numbers. But in 2017, thanks to the emergence of Harmanpreet Kaur, Smriti Mandhana, they all ensured that India were there at Lord's when it was watched by a record audience. 2017 World Cup put not just Indian cricket on the map, but also put women's. India performed, and Harmanpreet Kaur's 171 laid the base for what would be one of the greatest knocks in women's cricket. But India's 9-run loss was heartbreak because they were in a winning position for most of the match. Harmanpreet had hit a 50. Poonam Raut had hit a brilliant 80. But the collapse towards the end, Veda Krishnamurthy and all the others just could not get India over the line. It was heartbreak at Lord's. Leading run getter in women's ODIs, 7,805 runs, with the amount of matches that women's cricket plays outside of Australia, England and India potentially. I don't think this record can be broken in the near future. Longest career in women's ODI history, 22 years and 274 days. Yes, for over 2 decades, she has been the torchbearer for women's cricket in India. 22 years, I mean, this was her 23rd year. Had she stayed on for one more year, which she very well could have, because runs-wise and consistency-wise, she was still the best. Check out the stats in the India-New Zealand series as well as in the World Cup. She still could have continued for another year. But good things unfortunately have to come to an end. And Mithali Raj's retirement is not just a sad chapter, but we can also celebrate her career. Yes, it is a contrasting day for Indian women's fans. It's also a contrasting day for me personally, because as every other fan would attest, we started following women's cricket primarily because of Mithali Raj. Thank you so much for watching this, folks. Subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis. Press the like, comment and share button and the bell icon. We are also there on Facebook. Thank you.